Steve Bauer, District 1. And Sean Gabriel, who was recently hired by Kitsap County as the Administrative Services Director for the county. And they're going to be dealing with the subject of the state of our county in terms of our budget and fiscal matters and issues that might be of interest to you, and certainly an opportunity to ask questions about things that are of interest or concern to you. And without further ado, let me bring them up, and thank you both for being here this evening.
Well, thanks everybody. I think you all get special merits for coming out on a sunny, beautiful, almost summery night like this for a discussion like this. Sean and I are really pleased to be here. And what I want to do is provide a little general background in terms of just what's going on with the county, what makes county a little different than cities in terms of the situation that we're facing. And then Sean will go into more details in terms of the specifics of the county budget. And I know that Charlotte's here, may have some comments, and I think Josh may well be here a little later as well. But, one of the things we know is that we're in a recession right now, right? And it's the worst since the Depression, and we know that it's going to take several years to work through to get through that. But before the recession hit, the county was in serious long-term problem because of the 1% property tax limit. So I want to talk a little about the impact of the 1% because it really is a thing that nobody wants to talk about, but it's very pervasive and has a huge impact long-term in the county, as we'll talk about in a little bit. And I want to talk a little about the difference between county and cities because they really are. But if you read in the paper, you see that Bremerton has got significant problems in their budget this year. Bainbridge Island has significant problems. Paulsville and Port Orchard are a little better off, but there's some reasons for that. The county, if 240,000 people in the county here, and 170,000 of them live inside the county in the unincorporated area. So the county serves about 70% of the population of this county. So the cities, the four of them, have about 70,000. Now the county has two principal revenue sources to support that 170,000 people, property taxes and sales taxes. Cities, by comparison, have property taxes, sales taxes, business and occupation taxes, and utility taxes. So they have two more sources of revenue to support that population than counties do, which, if you really think about it, and the satisfaction that people have with county services, I think means the county is doing a pretty good job. But it also means that we're hamstrung in terms of the revenue base to support that 170,000 people, many of them living at urban densities compared to the cities that they were serving the same ones. Now the other piece that's really different about counties compared to cities is the counties were really created as creatures of the state to deliver state services. And so when you look at county structure, most of the structure of the county is mandated. The elected officials, the services that we offer, how we offer the services. By comparison, cities, and I'm not that familiar here, but in Oregon when I worked there, if you became a city, you didn't have any mandates. You decided which services you wanted to provide. And it was only in the last 20 years or so that land use planning came in and cities had to do funding if they became incorporated. So there's a big contrast between the services that a city can choose to provide and the mandates that the county faces, not only in terms of its structure, but the services that it provides. So the problem for the county, the longer term, and we thought was the problem that we had to solve before the recession hit, is the 1% property tax limitation. Before that came into play, the county and the cities could have up to 6% growth in property taxes every year to accommodate growth, cost, and the growth in the cost of services and providing services. So that came in at 2001. In 2008, because of the cumulative effect, the first year it cost the county about $1 million. The roll-up effect in 2008 is it cost the county about $7.5 million. So look at the services that we're not providing, the level we used to provide, the park services, the sheriff services, and the others, and think what the county could be providing today if it had that $7.5 million or some significant One of the things that I've encountered over the last almost 2 years now is there are a couple of really interesting and pervasive myths. One of them is that the county is spendthrift. That part of the reason that we've got problems is because we just spend too much money. But you know, if you go back and you look in 2001, now remember, we got 2 less revenue sources in the city, but we've got, you know, more than twice as many residents. The county had actually built up a reserve of $14 million. So you don't do that and be a spendthrift at the same time. The second thing that I get is you guys are always out there asking us for money. Well, after the 1% passed, the county went out in 2002 and asked for a levy and got clobbered, and probably rightfully so. But prior to that, take a guess at when the last time was that the county went out and asked for general property taxes for general government. Anybody got a guess how long it was? It was either 30 or 35 years. Because the county had done a good job living within the revenues that it had. So there isn't a case of the county having been out there constantly asking voters for money. Now there are about 4 problems that we face as we try and move down the road here. One of them is that we haven't been out in front of the voters because we managed to live within the resources that we had. So now when you finally have to go out, people think there's something wrong. You must have screwed up or you wouldn't have to be out here. And there is a big contrast here between the districts that are really dependent on property taxes, the fire district is, you know, and the schools and others where people see them on a fairly frequent basis and they're used to seeing them, compared to the county that hasn't been out so long. So that's a problem for us in the first place. The second is just the mandated structure of the county and the services that we have to provide, which means that we have got fewer options in terms of the things that we stop doing or how we do them than the cities do. The other thing that happens when things are going well, when the revenue stream is adequate, is you've got your head down, you're doing your work, and you're not spending as much time out there connecting with your public like the school districts and fire districts and others are who have to be out there on a constant basis. And I think the county fell prey to that. I think the county does a great job with public relations. I think the elected officials have done a good job being out there. I think the staff does a great job of customer service, but somewhere you got to do a little more intensive relationship with the public than that if you're going to be out there asking for money and making that case. And then the last, as we were trying to focus on the 1% and what we do for that longer term, and what that means for us is about $1.5 million or $2 million every year you've got to be cutting out of the budget. So it's the old thing about docking the dog's tail an inch at a time. And, you know, the problem with that is, in my book, it means that people don't really see the consequences because the erosion is so subtle over time. And we've gotten to a psychology in this country, I think, where people need to see blood in the street before they really believe that there's a problem and they're motivated to do something about it. So the 1% was a problem for us going forward that we really need to fix, and then we got hit with the recession. And so people tend to sort of lump those together today and to think that the only thing we have to fix is the recession. But when the recession gets through, we're still going to have this underlying problem of the 1%. So what are some of the things that we've tried to do over the last couple of years? Well, 2008 was the first year since 747 passed that the county really passed a balanced budget without eating into reserves. After not getting the property tax increase in 2002, the county decided to use up some of those $14 million in reserves to subsidize services for those years, but it really became apparent that you can't continue to do that and stay in business. So 2008, we balanced the budget, we made significant cuts. 2009, we balanced the budget, we made significant cuts again, and on top of that, we get hit by the recession. So we actually had to dip into the reserves again. And then you read in the paper where because of the recession and the revenue is going down even more, we just made more cuts in the middle of this year, like you're seeing in revenue, like you're seeing in being redone.